The Sunrisers Hyderabad are hosting the Mumbai Indians today, and we have with me Mr. Harsha Bhogle, Mr. Simon Doull. Good to see you, gentlemen. How are you?
More important, how are you after the hangover?
I'm struggling. Birthdays are never easy.
Happy 37th, is that right? I read in the paper, but it was wrong.
Typo. Don't believe all that you read in the papers. It's 34.
Well, if Yuvraj Singh can get away with 35, I mean, you can get away with 37.
That was sledged straight away.
Just sledging me. He knows that I don't have a bat in my hand today, so he can sledge me as much as he wants. And today he is looking like Liev Schreiber, so I can't mess with him. I can't. Gentlemen, big game today because we have two teams who, at least one who's looking really good, the other defending champions, obviously got blown away by one big innings the other night. Very early, and for Mumbai Indians, no big deal because they do this in every tournament. They lose the first few games, they wake up only around game 4.
Mumbai Indians run a 25-lap race.
Yeah.
So they're just sort of feeling the terrain in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
I think it was different last year, but otherwise they always start a little slowly.
They always do. Today, of course, Kane Williamson has won the toss, and I don't know, Simon, why they even ask the captain what they want to do anymore, right?
It seems the norm, doesn't it? Every game so far, win the toss, we'll have a bowl, we'll chase. We want to know what's coming, and they're worried about a bit of dew everywhere, I think. And sides have chased well, even when it's looked impossible at different times. Sides have just chased unbelievably well.
The only exception was yesterday, where it was a stiff target because of Duckworth Lewis.
Yeah.
But
and Stern.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the S.
And Stern.
I think Stern's not a person. I think the rule is just so stern that they've just added the word right there, right at the end.
Oh yeah, there's a Stern in there.
Yes, DLS. We've got DRS. And now we've got DLS.
We've got DLS. Let's have a look at the playing XI now. The playing 11 for both teams. Of course, big news for the Mumbai Indians is that Hardik Pandya is not in action today. He's injured. So in his place, you have Pradeep Sangwan who comes in. There's Mayank Markanday who looked very good in the first game, of course. And Ben Cutting, very exciting talent, Simon. And also Hyderabad boy. Man of the match in the winning
for Mitch
final.
McClenaghan. I mean, Mitch McClenaghan's had a little bit of an issue in the probably last 3 or 4 months. He went to the Big Bash. He got collared twice at the back end of games in the Big Bash. He got collared again the other night in Mumbai, didn't he? He got taken apart by Bravo. Wasn't the only one, but I just wonder whether at that death bowling he's quite as good as he was. And maybe he's starting to feel the pinch a little bit. So Ben Cutting going back to Hyderabad where he knows the conditions well. I think it's a good selection, Harsh.
I think it was also forced on him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they would have left out Mitch McClenaghan if Hardik Pandya was available.
Right, yeah.
Because Hardik's gone, they need a like-for-like replacement for Hardik. Yeah. Someone who hits the ball long and gives you 2 or 3 overs, or on a good day gives you 4. So Ben Cutting comes in. The moment Cutting came in, you didn't want to leave Pollard out, you didn't want to leave Evan Lewis out. So you had to leave somebody out. Yeah. That meant McClenaghan goes out, and the only backup fast bowler, which is Sangwan, comes in. He's had a funny season, Pradeep Sangwan. Didn't play first-class cricket at all this year. When Gautam Gambhir was first captain, then Rishabh Pant was captain, then nobody wanted to be captain, then everybody wanted to be captain. And then Sangwan suddenly comes in, and he's captain.
You know, there's only a one-word response I have for that.
Delhi.
What you gonna do?
But he's played limited overs cricket this year, so he's not like completely rusty.
Anything can happen in Delhi.
And they didn't use Krunal the other night. They didn't use Pollard. So I mean, they've got bowling options if they need them, Mumbai. So the strike guy coming back with Ben Cutting, I think, is a good thing.
So they've got a lot of bowling options. The Sunrisers Hyderabad have a very good bowling attack, but they don't have options. Well, let's have a look at their 11 now. The big problem for them, of course, is that there's no Bhuvi today. And sir from Hyderabad will comment on the team from Hyderabad.
देखो पहले वो अपने बिल्ली भाई है ना बिल्ली भाई तो खेलना ही पड़ता कैसा तो भी साकिब भाई है डाल ले रहे हैं ओवर पूरे
बिल्कुल
फिर संदीप भाई है राशिद तो बेस्ट अभी T20 अवार्ड मिला मैं
T20 अवार्ड बेस्ट में बेस्ट
मिल गया अपने डूली भाई सोच रहे हैं क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे
he's like Dooley's wondering what's going on here.
No idea at all, but I know that he's from Hyderabad, he's talking the local language.
Yeah.
And I picked up a little bit about Billy Stanlake and Sandeep Sharma.
Yeah, that's right.
Close.
Well done.
Close.
We're going to turn Dooley into a Hyderabadi before he leaves.
Didn't mention biryani though.
He didn't mention the biryani. He's a vegetarian. He's a fake Hyderabadi.
But Bhuvi's a big loss, eh? He's a big loss. He's been the spearhead of that attack. But Sandeep Sharma gets an opportunity. He swings it. He's a bustle type of bowler. And I expect Billy Stanlake to really get into the top order. Rohit Sharma, Evan Lewis, get it through. I mean, it was quick the other night, that surface. So hoping for the same tonight.
We also have, with Sunrisers Hyderabad, of course, Bhuvi is a big loss. The last game they played, They had 5 bowlers bowling their entire quota. And Harsha, there's a thing, right? I mean, you want teams, we talk about teams wanting to have bowling options. These guys have 4 solid players. They just back them and say, you've got to bowl 4. And that came good the other day.
This was a seriously good bowling performance. And remember, Shakib bats in the top 6 as well. Bhuvneshwar Kumar could have batted at 8. This is a serious performance. It's almost like you're telling them, we don't need anybody else. We don't have anyone else.
Yeah.
Let's see how Sandeep Sharma fits in.
Looking at that scorecard, I just want to say something about Sid Kaul. Had, what was it, 4 for 17 or something? What?
Yeah, 4 overs, 2 for 17.
4 overs, 2 for 17.
Man of the match, you think?
Absolutely, hands down. I don't know what is going on.
This is like telling a guy from Delhi, do you want some jalebi? You're telling a bowler, what do you think of a bowler's performance?
The only reason...
Because I know he was upset about this.
I was so upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
we heard you.
Time and time again, these man of the match awards go to batsmen in low-scoring games.
Yeah.
Well, you don't chase 125 unless the bowlers do a brilliant job.
True.
And Siddharth Kaul, I mean, they all did a cracking job. The most anyone went for was 30. That was Bhuvi. I think there was a 29, Rashid Khan at 23, and a 17. Bowlers have won you the game. A guy gets 75 not out in a chase of 160, 170. I understand that. That's fine. He wins the game for them with the bat. But you chase 125. I mean, anyone can go out there and get 25, 30, 50. You haven't won the game because of your batting.
Yeah.
And 4 overs, 2 for 17 in any 2020 game should win you man of the match. Although one night after, it was Sunil Narayan. 4 overs, 1 for 17, and they got clobbered.
And that was in a
losing
game.
Yeah, in a 10-run-over game. In a losing cause, 4 overs for 17.
Absolutely.
But no, Siddharth Kaul should have got it.
When you say 4 overs, 17 runs, if you were to equate that to a batting performance, that's an easy, a half century for sure, probably even a century.
Yeah, that's more than that. That's 85, 90 for
He
mine.
didn't get it for 4 overs, 1 for 17, did he? They gave it to Sam Billings.
They gave it
to Sam Billings.
Yeah. No, that one went to
Sam Billings,
Shikhar Dhawan.
Yeah, that one went to
and Sam Billings got the one for Chennai.
And Sam Billings got it the other day.
Yeah.
Dooley's pre-doctoral dissertation was bowlers and man of the match awards.
Fair enough. There's plenty to write there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
There's plenty to write and plenty to complain about. Fair enough. Rohit Sharma, of course, opening the batting, very important for the Mumbai Indians. We want to talk about that because this has been a cause of frustration for MI fans, for commentators, for experts, for just everyone saying he does it for India. Why is he not doing it for his own team?
Nobody disputes whether Virat Kohli should bat at 3 or no. It's just that when Rohit Sharma comes in, you say, no, I think he should bat 4. No, I think he should open the batting. Of course he should open the batting because if he's your number 1 India opener, of course he's got to bat there.
Yeah.
You don't say, but he opens the batting for bowling for India. Should he open the bowling for a franchise side? Of course he should.
And Rohit, obviously talking about his opening, but we'll have to talk about Hyderabad as well because remember, he started his IPL career with the Deccan Chargers here. He's won emerging player here. He's won a trophy here. He likes batting in Hyderabad. A lot of these innings have been while playing for Deccan Chargers, of course. But look at it. He likes this ground, Dooley.
Yeah, he does. Well, it's a good ground. I mean, the surface is generally, I think we saw probably a little bit more turn last year than we've seen previously in Hyderabad. But generally, it's just a good flat surface and the best batting side will win. And the bowling unit, and that's what Hyderabad have done so well. They've had the best bowlers, haven't they? And they're limited sides, and then they won with their bowling attacks. So on flat wickets, your best bowling attacks win you those sorts of games. And that's exactly what they've done. They've been able to do it.
Well, we have, obviously, they've got this dilemma sorted because if Rohit bats at the top, then the other problem that MI has had in all other seasons is that, hey, let's pull names out of the hat and choose our opening combination today. Because MI has done that every season. They've gone through, they usually go through half a dozen opening combinations before they settle on one, don't they?
But this year they've got someone they're very bullish about, and I saw him get 100 against India. Little fellow, for someone who's not that big, he hits the ball a very long way. They really want Evan Lewis to get going, because if Lewis gets going, then Rohit is under no pressure to score quickly. I've noticed at the Nidahasa Trophy, and noticed in the first game here, Rohit just seems to have changed his approach a little bit. He wants to go for it right away, which is not his game. So I'll be interested in seeing how he goes.
The way he ran down the wicket the other night, in that early stages, I was really surprised because he's a better player now. Rohit Sharma is one of the modern great white ball cricketers, in my opinion. Now, he doesn't need to run down the wicket and play wild shots. He's got all the skills. He plays the hook and the cut very well. He drives beautifully, hits the ball in the air when he needs to. He doesn't need to be running down the wicket and playing wild shots. He looked a bit nervous
Was he almost trying too hard to
cat on a hot
opener?
tin roof the other night? A little bit, perhaps, yeah. And maybe trying to take the pressure away from Evan Lewis, who they've paid big money for. But if he's got to open, in my opinion, he's got to stay at the top of the order. And if he and Evan Lewis can get that partnership going, then the likes of the Pandyas and Pollard become incredibly dangerous.
They've got a lot of batting.
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan's a good batsman.
Yeah.
Kumar Yadav. Then they've got Pandya cutting today.
I'd still love to see Pollard further up the order.
Yes,
I'd love to see them give him more opportunity. I'd like to see their batting lineup with the two at the top, Rohit and Evan Lewis, Ishan Kishan, and then Karen Pollard at 4.
At 4, huh?
I'd love to see Karen Pollard at 4, and then maybe Krunal Pandya and Surya Kumar Yadav when
then you get Ben
Hardik's
cutting down
not-
at 7.
Yeah, when Hardik's not playing.
I like
Absolutely.
that too. In fact, I'd suggested Hardik at 4, Pollard at 5 at the start of the season. If Hardik's not playing, Pollard at 4.
Yeah.
Pollard at 4. You get the big guns out first. Don't hide them in the dugout. Well, at one place where the two teams definitely are going to be a bit of a difference today is the death bowling. Where you have Sunrisers Hyderabad, of course, whose bowling attack, well, we've been speaking about that enough and you know the merit of that one. For the Mumbai Indians, a varied bowling attack for sure, lots of options for sure, but death over is a big problem.
Was a problem the other day when Mitch McLennan went for 20 and Bumrah went for 20. But otherwise, they tend to bowl well in the death overs. The numbers that we've seen.
So that's the thing. In the last few years, while we keep thinking that you've got a Bumrah and you've got that, they still, the numbers actually are not exactly slaying super tight.
It's about 9.5.
There you go. You've got pretty much 10s, right? You've got pretty much 10s, except their winning year, which was, their last year, which was their winning year, is closer to 9. But otherwise, you've got 10s there.
Anything under 10. Yeah. Anything under 10, those last 4 overs, you're in a winning situation there, I think. It all depends on wickets down and the opposition, who's in batting at the time. But you keep those under 10, you've done a very, very good job at the back end.
How cricket has changed, huh? Where you think, could you think 20 years ago you'd be saying, just give 10 in the last few overs, you're good, you've done your job.
This way, if you say 50 from 5,
you're
saying the batting side is going to win, right? You need to score 50 from 5. But a lot of those numbers are because of Lasith Malinga.
True. Correct.
So without Malinga, can they still get those numbers?
And I still think Bumrah, and I'll say it, as I've said many times, he is the premier white ball bowler in the world at this point in time. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant exponent of the Yorkers. He had a bad night the other night. That happens to everyone. I had probably 25, 30 bad nights. He had a bad night the other night that just didn't work, didn't come off, and Bravo played well. It won't happen to him very often throughout this tournament.
He's also actually, the number of 6s that Bumrah has had. Listen, I'm a big fan of Bumrah as well, but this is just a stat that is there. He's taken 39 6s, which is actually the 4th highest on the list.
There's a reason for
on the infamous list.
He bowls in the 6th zone. So if he bowls to the 6th zone, he's going to go for 6s. And that's why his economy rate is a little on the higher side. And the reason for that is he bowls the tough overs. So you've got to look at that economy rate as a factor of how many runs someone else would have conceded if they had bowled those overs. And that's why. Also don't forget he plays a lot of his cricket at 1KD. 1KD is a serious 6-hitting ground. So you need to look at the numbers actually in the context of where he's playing, when he's bowling. But he bowls in the 6-hitting zone.
He doesn't get the new ball. That's one thing that does that I would look at and think, okay, he's good enough. He's done it in Test match cricket. He's done it in one-day international cricket. He's good enough to swing the ball a little bit. I'd give him that new ball, just one over up front with the brand new ball. He's got good pace. Just see. And then save him for maybe 1 in that 8, 9, 10, and then 2 at the death.
2 at the back. In case you've just tuned in, let us quickly tell you that Kane Williamson did win the toss for Sunrisers Hyderabad. No surprise, said Mumbai Indians, you have a bat first. We're just going to show you the playing 11s again because there's big news for both teams. For Mumbai Indians, of course, the big news is that Hardik Pandya is injured. He's not playing. So that's a big blow for the Mumbai Indians. We'll get to the Sunrisers Hyderabad in just a second. But there you go. Even without him, they will miss him. But even without him, that is a really solid team. And of course, they've got the Fizz, who's going to be bowling against his old team in conditions that he knows really well. So don't rule some good overs out from him because they're going to come.
You like the Fizz?
Yeah, I think the one issue with Mustafizur now is that he's dropped his pace since that shoulder injury. When he first came on the scene, he was 143, 144, 145 at times, and then followed that up with a 115, 120 slower ball. Was brilliant. Deceived batsmen around the world, left, right and centre. Now he's 131, 132, and the slower ball's 120. It's not as big a difference. And that's what he's finding just a little bit of a struggle with.
Yeah, it's the same issue that James Faulkner had.
Yes,
the same issue
correct.
that Jaydev Unadkat is going through. If you don't have the 140 ball, your 120 ball, people set up for it, becomes easy to
correct. And so he's just got to change a little bit. He's become a little bit one-dimensional. It's wide outside off stump, and it's that every time. So players can sit, they can hang back, and they can look to go square of the wicket and maybe cover. So you watch players tonight, watch the Sunrisers, they know him well. Just keep an eye on the Sunrisers looking to hit the ball over extra cover, over backward point, aerial, and waiting on that slower ball and not worrying too much about the quicker one, because when it's not coming at 140, 145, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah. The guy they're also going to look at, SRH is going to be looking at, is Mayank Markande. How impressed were you with him in the first game?
You know, in the first game, no one knew anything about him. So you didn't know what was coming. Now, the IPL is such a big tournament. Within the last 3 days, they would have looked at Mayank Markande. They would have said which one is the wrong one, which is the straight ball. Now the quality batsman will set up for him. Now it'll be interesting. Can he have another good game? Then he's a good bowler.
Worldwide, wicket keepers read leg spinners better than anyone.
They have to.
Now, he was the undoing of MS Dhoni the other night. Who didn't read it. Did not read a wrong un. Now that's telling me something. The kid can bowl, right? He can clearly bowl, because Dhoni, you watch him keep. He keeps to all the best spinners in the last 10 years in India, and he reads googlies. He reads everything very, very well. Didn't pick him the other night and got absolutely done. And Chris Gaffney was too scared to give him out. He was too scared. I like looking at him. Gaff, come on, man. He's a Kiwi. Just give him out. He was out plumb. He was too scared. He was too scared in India. He's like, no, it's the first game of IPL. I can't give him out.
You think umpires get scared? Oh, I can't give Dhoni out on a big
Oh, they are human.
100% they did.
They are human. They still have to leave the stadium safely.
You've got a review, use it.
Just do your own dirty work, man. Don't put this one on me. Let's look at the Sunrisers Hyderabad team as well. Now, their big news is that there's no Bhuvi, and that becomes very important, because Bhuvi's your guy, right? I mean, he's a kingpin of your bowling. He's there. There's Billy Stanlake. Man, that guy can get bounce. Riddhiman's getting a lot of jumping in, isn't he?
If you're Billy Stanlake's height, if you don't want bounce, you'll get it chest high.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want bounce, it goes even more. There's very few big, tall guys who bowl swing. One of them is sitting next to me. But
I was 125. He's 150.
Slight difference.
A little bit of a difference. But he's quality.
Potato.
Yeah, he's quality, Billy Stanley. He'll get bounce again tonight. Big opportunity for Sandeep Sharma to try and fill Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's boots. Not easy, but one thing that Tom Moody has done, and VVS and the whole team around the Sunrisers, they've got a crack bowling lineup, and they've got guys in the wings. They've got seam bowlers in the wings. They've bought very, very well in the seam bowling ranks to back up any injury problems that they've got. I think they're the best bowling unit. If you took 8, 9, 10 bowlers, they're the best bowling unit.
They also bought very well at the auction. They were the people who checked all their boxes and then checked it again for backups. It was almost like, don't worry, we have 3, 4 injuries, key players. We have to prepare for that. It's a long tournament that can happen.
It's like VVS going back to his 10th standard science exam. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah. But they really bought well. If you notice, towards the end of the auction, they were not buying, because they were all set. First day of the auction, we did it together. First day of the auction, they almost had their team ready.
Neither did KKR buy towards the end.
KKR didn't buy anything.
No money left.
KKR didn't buy.
That's why. Everybody has their reasons. Everybody has their reasons. Well, looking at this ground, of course, we would, like to get your opinion on what you think a good score is for the Mumbai Indians to aim at, considering that SRH has got a good batting lineup as well.
हमारे हैदराबाद का ground आज कैसा है, कल कैसा है, नहीं मालूम.
नहीं मालूम ना.
You never know what Hyderabad ground turns up. One year, you remember when they won it, there was good carry. They played 4 fast bowlers, all the left-handers, and suddenly one year it's slow. But on the evidence, you were there.
I was there the other night. It bounce and pace. Look, you're in the game. It sounds cliche. You're in the game at 160. You're in the game. If you bowl really well, you can defend 160. If you bat really well, you can chase 160 down. Dew will play a part as far as the Mumbai Indians spinners are concerned. There's been a bit of weather around in that area as well, so let's hope that stays away. But I think it's a good surface. Problem is, you don't want to go out looking at 200 and get 140. Just assess the conditions early, and that's up to Rohit Sharma, Evan Lewis, to say, okay, what is a good score after 3 or 4 overs? What can we look at?
But you trust Rohit's judgment on that, wouldn't you?
You would.
Plays an over and goes, all right, we know what it is. Is what Joy was saying the other day about Callis, and he said Callis could bat a couple of overs and he would just come back and he'd get the number right.
Correct.
He'd just come out and says, guys, 155 pitch, and everybody would bat to that.
I mean, Dooley's just defined the best T20 surface you can get. That 160, if you're a good bowling side, you've got a chance of defending. You've got a good batting side, you'll chase it. But a 160 track, if you've got a good bowling side, sets up a really good game.
Yeah, we talking about just before we go. Just want to bring that man of the match conversation up again for the bowlers.
Okay,
just because we hadn't finished it at that point in time. A couple of times in this tournament where it should have been the bowler who should have got the man of the match. Why do you think this happens? What's the problem? Why are they not giving it to bowlers?
Batsmen are choosing it for a start. Last night, Michael Vaughan chose the man of the match. The other night, it was Michael Slater chose the man of the match.
Just a second. The inside track, only on Cricbuzz Live. This is the inside track.
I'm sitting in the commentary box and these fools are picking batsmen when bowlers are winning the games.
I'll present the counter view. I was in a series recently where we had a lot of bowlers in the commentary box and all the man of the match awards were going to bowlers.
Rightly so.
We've got an example here. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. There you go. Mujibur Rahman, we spoke about, versus Delhi Daredevils. Okay, listen. That KL Rahul, fastest 50 in IPL. Come on, you're being harsh now, Simon. That was a good knock.
It's the same thing. It was a good knock, but it was 50. It wasn't 90. It wasn't 80.
It's a 50 or 14.
Yeah, but so what?
Come on, no big deal.
50. It's 50. It's not 90. Siddharth Kaul, 2 for 17. Last night, Ben Lachlan.
Yeah.
Ben Lachlan, beautiful. He'd bowled, 10 deliveries last night, and he'd only gone for 10 runs.
Yeah.
His last two, he went 4-6. Chris Morris went downtown. The game was done.
Yeah.
But he picked up big wickets, and he had 1 for 10, of 10 deliveries in a 6-over game when they are coming at you hard.
Yeah.
And then they give it to a bloke who got 37.
That's just not right.
I just shake.
I'm with you on this one. That's not right.
Is Simon producing this telecast?
Yeah, I think
he's suddenly got all the numbers.
Yeah, he's got all the bowling numbers.
But he's got a point, you know. T20, the batsmen have everything going for
As much as I like Sanju Samson, he's another quality kid and a good player.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's not about him.
No.
And it's not about. It's about.
It's just about who deserves it.
It's about the performance.
Give it to the bowlers.
Today a bowler could get it. You think? Today a bowler could get it. There's quality bowlers on both sides.
I don't know who the commentators are there. If there's 4 batters, it's bound to be a batter getting it again.
We'll just find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Don't worry about it. We're going to take. I tried to get a score prediction out of them a little earlier. They're dodging it, but I'm still going to try to get a number out because it's just a game.
Listen, that day 125 was probably desperately under par.
Yeah.
It was a bad performance. If you can get 160, if Mumbai can get 160, 165 and take the game to the 20th over, we'll have a great game. So I think on that track, 165, 170, you're doing all right.
The head-to-head here, by the way, is 5-all. I'll have you know. So they're very level teams, both these teams. But Simon, your prediction for where MI will land up at the end? I'm not taking a match prediction. No. I'm just saying, just go for a score. Let's have the kind of a Powerball lottery.
Well, they need to negotiate the first 4 or 5 overs, get rid of Billy Stanlake the first 2, and then it's all about Rashid Khan. If they play Rashid Khan well, they get 170. If they play him poorly, they get 145.
Ooh. Mine is 172.
Hey, Sich.
172.
Kaiku?
No ifs, no buts.
Kaiku?
No caveats, no terms and conditions, no little star on the side. Not like them going, oh, if so and so. If the drinks have extra fizz in them. No. 172.
You really want to crack a bad joke, don't you? If Mumbai Indians had the fizz, not.
There you go. It was there. It was there. You picked it up. We have the joy factor before we sign off. Joy is not here, but he leaves a little bit of joy wherever he goes, except in these questions. They're not joyous at all because they're very tricky. Harsha, you want to talk us through this?
You know, as I say on the Tonight Show, I'm standing in for somebody. I'm standing in for Mr. Bhattacharya. The 2018 SRH squad is 4 players who starred in the 2008 Under-19 World Cup. Okay, SRH only. Okay, 2 of them are Manish Pandey and Siddharth Kaul because Mumbai Indians have 1 player as well who was in the 2008 Under-19 World Cup. Who are the other 2? Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Send in your answers. 2 of them are Manish Pandey and Siddharth Kaul. Who are the other 2 from the 2008-9 side?
I think I know one of them.
Too easy.
Can they?
Say it.
No, I won't even.
It could be a decoy.
I won't even say that he might have a beard like mine.
It could be. But by the way, in Indian cricket, saying that right now means nothing. Right? Because everybody's got a beard.
He might have been on the same flight as me over as well.
How are we going? It's easier to Google the squad than to Google the flight passenger list.
I'm not sure.
Manifest from yesterday.
No, the trick. I don't know if you picked up the big hint in what he was saying. Google the right squad. Aur nahi bolunga main.
Anyway.
Aur nahi bolunga main. Or
See,
when
now
it
I
will
just put that dramatic in just to confuse you guys. Does that mean something? Does it not? I don't know. You probably already fired the answers in on Twitter. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right now. Just remember that when you tweet us, just use the hashtag Cricbuzz Live. That's what you need to use. And of course, if you win, you stand to win big prizes. Today's grand prize is a... What, did my mic go? You guys can hear me. I'll tell you again later. We'll catch you in 90 minutes, all right? See you.